They brokered a deal. Oh my God, that's so awesome. Fast forward, gradually, jobs are moving. Then in 2001, December 11th, China enters the World Trade Organization. Within a span of 8 years later, 6 million manufacturing jobs goes over there. The rich got richer because they're like, listen, if labor to us is going to cost 50 cents an hour in China, it's cost.
And this is where you kind of got to blame your government. Like, yes, like here's the thing. You can't even say Trump works for the rich just off like this right now, bro. Us pretty much allowing these companies to go overseas, get cheaper costs, and then to be able to sell their products back here, that's what destroyed our middle class. That's what destroyed our jobs. And here's the thing, Biden ain't make it no better.
There's a bunch of money here. We're about to make a lot of money. But what did it do to middle America? It absolutely destroyed it. We're going to talk about that today. If you get value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get into it. So check this out. I got numbers for you. Ready? Little concerning. Remember how we talked about 1970, the ping pong, and then they go in 2001, China come on in, World Trade Organization. In 1970, the average minimum wage in China is roughly, I told you, 8 cents. Let's say 8 to 12 cents an hour.
Damn.
In 1970. US is $1.60, which means we're 13 times more expensive to hire people in America in 1970 than China. In China, you're like, man, we're saving 13 times salary. Send the labor there. Don't do it here. Send it there. Then they go to 2001, World Trade Organization. Come on in, China. Come and compete with the rest of us. Come on in, all these other companies. No.
And that is where tariffs should have been enacted. Like, as soon as these companies went straight to China to get a cheaper profit, we was like, all right, cool, tariffs. Like 25, 100% tariffs on your products since you want to go out there for cheaper labor. Or you can come back here, pay the American worker what they're worth, or you can go to China and just get tariff out the ass and your product don't even work and your product won't even sell here no more. That was a time to put tariffs on. But at that point, we were kind of supporting it and we was championing it at our own destruction.
No problem. Great. In 2001, it's 34 cents an hour. In China, it's $5.15 minimum wage an hour. In US, 15 times more. But you know what it is today? In China, $3.75 an hour minimum wage now. In US is $7.25, only 2 times more. You can look at this and say a couple different things. Wow, China's getting hammered because their cost has gone so up that now it's like, how are they going to make up with all this? Or you could say, why is our income not growing so fast in America? Well, because we shipped off all that labor over there and we don't have it here. Labor is expensive now here. Let me give you a couple examples of what's happened. Watch this. So if you look at this chart on this website, this shows the percentage of countries manufacturing share output. This shows the top 10 countries by share of world manufacturing output from 1970 to 2018. I got the numbers for today. I'll give it to you. In 1970, if you go look at the numbers on where US was at, we had 29% of all manufacturing jobs. That was US. Second was Russia, then Japan, Germany.
And that was in the what? When was this? I believe the 70s. And this was a pretty good time in American history. I remember, this is one of our golden ages. All the way out from 1970 to 2018. We were doing pretty good. And then all of a sudden, we just let it all go.
70. If you go look at the numbers on where US was at, we had 29% of all manufacturing jobs. That was US. Second was Russia, then Japan, Germany, UK, France, Italy. Look at China, 3.1%. If you let this play out and you see where it goes to, by 2001, you know what you'll notice in 2001? Let's look at 2001. By 2001, we're at 25.6%. We're still leading the way. China goes from 3% to 8.2, nearly 3xing from 70 till today. But if you keep playing it and see where it goes to today, it's this chart that I have in front of me. China is now 31.
Oh, hell no, bro. What am I looking at? It's like, bro, we completely gave it to them. Ain't no, like I said, 1970s, we was doing great in the 1970s and the 60s and all that good stuff. But as we went further, we just sold out the middle class.
But if you keep playing it and see where it goes to today, it's this chart that I have in front of me. China is now 31%. US is roughly 15.9%. And it's projecting that by 2030, manufacturing jobs, you know how many is going to be China? 45%. And by 2030, you know what US is going to be? 11%. This goes from...
Yep, can't have that happening. And now have that happening.
Having 18.6 million manufacturing jobs in 2000 in the US. Fast forward 8 years later, 9 years later, that 18.6 drops to 11.4 million. 6 million is gone. What happens to different states? Let's look at it. If you look at this chart, you go focus on 2001. How's Michigan doing with jobs in 2001? Now, keep in mind, Michigan back in the days got decimated because of what happened when China opened and they came in like, whoa, you're kind of hurting us here. That's the story you have of Michigan. The 1980s, when they call it the Detroit auto industry collapse, between 1970 and 2010, Detroit lost over 50% of its population. Unemployment in some neighborhoods hit 30 to 40%. Why? It's cheaper to build the same thing in a different country. Why are we doing it in Michigan? Bam, takes a hit. Let's go to the next one. Ohio. Look at Ohio's numbers from 2001. Look what happens to Ohio next. When you go and look at some Ohio stories, what do you hear about? September 19th.
Nah, trust me, that hurt. That hurt in 2001 when all those jobs left. A lot of buying like power left as well. Like things got frugal. It went, and I'm giving you guys this from experience because like my stepdad owned a store, and I literally watched the store go under during those times. And I was literally hearing that, bro. They were complaining about jobs leaving. They're playing like I had a job here, but they moved it to China, and layoffs were happening all over the manufacturing industry damn near before the crash. This was happening, and it was affecting local businesses everywhere because where did these guys go? Usually these manufacturers buy at their local businesses, and that decimated all local businesses, all your mom and pop shops. So it had a crazy effect. It didn't just hurt manufacturing. It also hurted the small businesses.
In 1977, a day known as Black Monday, the Youngstown Sheet and Tube Company abruptly closed its Campbell Works mill in Youngstown, Ohio, immediately laying off approximately 5,000 workers. This is where the whole concept of Rust Belt comes out. This continues. Job losses. Initial close.
And ever since Youngstown's became a hood since then, I believe. Bro, it's like it's one of those cities that you kind of really don't want to go to. It's kind of weird. It's not even really one of them famous cities in Ohio, but it used to have a lot of money go through there. Then once they pulled those jobs out, everything just started plummeting. Same thing with Cleveland. Had all the jobs in Cleveland, start plummeting. Detroit had all the jobs in Detroit. Once they gone, everything starts plummeting. High poverty, high crime, etc.
Led to cascading effect, resulting in the loss of over 50,000 jobs and a Mahoning Valley within the next 5 years. Population decline. Youngstown population goes from 150 when it peaked in the mid-20th centuries to 65,000. Unemployment hit 24.9% in the 80s. This is even pre-WTO, China joining us. So when you look at Ohio takes the hit. Then when you go to Indiana, the impact. Gary's population, this is the steels. Gary Works was one of the largest steel mill in the world starting in the late 70s. Production cuts and layoffs gutted the workforce from 175,000 people in 1960 to 70,000 people today. 100,000 people left because there are no jobs. What am I doing here? They went elsewhere. Let's go to Pennsylvania now.
Bro, I know there are literally some cities that are built on top of these corporations that are like, yo, usually everybody in the city either works at this company, that company, or over there, or outside the city at the plant. If you don't work at those three places, you like, or you got fired from all three of those places, or you can't work at all three of those places, you have no business even living in that city. There are some places you live where if you ain't working a certain job, you don't need to be there. And that's how some of this works. And trust me, it's one of the reasons why my family moved to Ohio.
Next, look at Pennsylvania, how it drops from 2001, boom, to where it's at today. Pennsylvania, Bethlehem Steel collapsed in 1995. This was another one of those companies that employed thousands of employees, thousands of lost jobs. City lost its economic engine. The company officially declared bankruptcy in 2001. This company called Bethlehem Steel collapsed. They had to go. Why? After 2001, if you're going to open it up and you're going to have China coming in, hey, guys, we got to do something about this. We can't compete with cheap labor. We're going to go.
And shout out, man. Shout out Daniel Castro. He said Fox Chase is a steel worker from Gary. Man, that makes sense because my man do work with cars and all that good stuff. So that makes sense. But hey, hold on, man. And shout out my man Fox Chase and Castro. Man, hopefully you hear this, Fox Chase. But anyway, though, let's get right back to it. But yeah, trust me. I could see that. But it's sad though. It is not sad that all these jobs just left. Damn near decimated the I'm gonna be real with you. the buying power within that city, decimated the population within the city, like crazy. These are how important these corporations are, honestly, to, well, America, and really to some of these places in America, like small cities, big cities alike.
Elsewhere, the investors, we're going to go do this business in China. Illinois, same story. Illinois, different company. Chicago's Union Stockyard closure. Guess what year? 1971. That's the day that Nixon allowed China to come and do all the trades that they were doing. How many jobs lost? 40,000 jobs were lost. That's Illinois. I can give you more stories. North Carolina, if you go to Carolina from 2001, look at the drop that Carolina has. Straight up, it's not even like a small little dip. Gone. You go to Wisconsin, gone. You go to New York, gone. You go to California, look at California, how it was peaking. 2001, China joins the World Trade Organization, gone. The aerospace industry collapse of 1990s, LA County alone lost 200,000 aerospace jobs in the 90s. Entire communities like Lancaster.
And those are high-paying jobs in aerospace. If you was working in there, you was getting paid like 40 an hour plus.
That once thrived around Lockheed and Northrop suffered mass layoffs, but who benefited from it all the way on the other side is a country called China.
We've lost like low-tech and high-tech manufacturing jobs. We lost low-skill and high-skill manufacturing jobs. It don't matter. We just lost manufacturing jobs, period. Wild.
They benefited from this. Policy seemed good short-term, but it destroyed a lot of low and middle-income people's lives in America. So, you may say, Pat, this is too dramatic. Give it a break. Give me this. You cannot be talking about this kind of stuff. Here's a chart for you from Statista. Okay. Outsourcing viewed as the top threat to U.S. jobs. This is 2016. So they scored it, right, on what they thought it was going to be. So, number one, increased outsourcing of jobs to other countries was their number one fear, is what they were most worried about. Number two, more foreign-made products being sold in the U.S. Where are they? Foreign-made products. So it's benefiting you, but it's being sold here. Why are we not making it here and selling it here? But this does. Number three, increased use of contract or temp employees, decline of union membership, automation of jobs, growing number of immigrant workers in the U.S., the U.S. made products being sold abroad, internet, email, other office tech. You would think that would be number one. No. But number one is what? Outsource. Outsource. Cheaper labor. Yep. Who does it affect? Here's who it affects. Let's look at this. Income gains at the top dwarf those low and middle income households. This is from 1979 till today. Look what happened to the top 1%.
Bro. These steel factories went from paying, I ain't gonna lie, probably what, 25 to 30 an hour, and went overseas and now they would pay $8 an hour. Hell yeah, of course they did that. Of course, and we let them. Well, as soon as that company did that, we should have been like, oh, okay, well, $100 tariffs on your product. So your cheap labor almost don't even matter that you're getting it, because we're going to put the tariffs on it to even it out. That's what tariffs do. It protects our economy, protects our industries, it protects our jobs.
Well, it's looking really, really good for the top 1%. But here's what's very, very interesting. Look at the next 19%. So you're in the top 20 percentile, let's just say. They grew 116%, but you know who beat them? The bottom 20% of workers in America. Go in the early 80s and 1985, 1990, look what the yellow is at, the bottom 20%. They're below zero, but the bottom 20%, because the welfare state outgrew the next 19% of workers. They're talking about you, by the way. If you watch my content, you're somebody that wants to improve your life, do better. You're working, you're running a business, small business owner, salesperson, working at a job, want to bring value. Why are we helping the bottom 20% more than we are those that are actually, they don't need your taxes to be increased to pay them? Why are we not rewarding them a little bit more? And then the middle 60, you know what the middle 60 is?
And that's what a lot of y'all hate. Oh, well, why are we giving tax breaks to the rich so they can reinvest in y'all motherfuckers? That's why. Excuse my language, but I'm a bit irritated on the topic, though. Why are we giving tax breaks to the rich? Because they're the ones that give you a job. They're the ones that give you the building so you can work in an office. They're the one to give you a factory so you can work in a factory. They're the ones who build these things so you can have a job. 90% of y'all, even if you work for yourself, you either use products that a billionaire made, or you work for a company that a billionaire owns. It's even the 1099 guys. It's almost funny how y'all hate the rich, but guess what? If it wasn't for the rich, you wouldn't have a job. If it wasn't for the rich that stayed here in this country, bro, a lot of us would be screwed. I mean, if y'all got Kamala Harris and she got it her way, we really wouldn't have no jobs here.
Look where the middle 60s at. The lowest growth. They don't have to do anything. Jobs are cheaper elsewhere. That's what's taking place.
Now, Ham, how much did they reinvest? Are you serious, dog? Bro, go look up all the new plants that are being built. Those are reinvestments from these corporations. Go look the jobs being added. Those are reinvestments from these corporations. Every time you see a new plant, a new factory, a new building, a new skyscraper being built, that's reinvestment, my friend. Yes, every time you see a building, a place of work, a place where jobs will be provided, that is reinvestment. And I'm pretty sure if you drive around your city long enough, you'll see some reinvestments.
But that's not, don't get me wrong. You can find a way to improve yourself. You can find a way to improve your evaluation in a marketplace with different skill sets that you learn. But sometimes bad policies affect the people you were hoping to help. Boom, those jobs went elsewhere. So where are we going with this, Kyle? What's your point? I don't get it. Why are we talking? All of a sudden, y'all fired up about this because everybody's talking about tariffs, right? A tariff this and tariff that and tariff this. Well, tariff kind of got Apple to say we're going to invest $500 billion in the U.S. in the next few years. Apple? Yes. Yep. What does it mean invest $500 billion? Is it like I'm going to put it in a mutual fund? No. Those are jobs. Baby. They need people. $500 billion, lots of money. UAE, $1.4 trillion. That's a lot of money. Saudi, $600 billion. Rolls-Royce. We're going to bring some of our jobs that's in Mexico, Canada, and China. We're going to bring it to the U.S. Why? Because we have to. Yeah. Because these tariffs are kind of going to be cheaper to produce.
I mean, if Rolls-Royce, man, if you want Rolls Royces to be sold in America at an affordable price, which, I mean, they're already unaffordable to most of us, you're going to build it here. Like Apple, if you don't want to get that $2,400 on your phone without it being built here, you don't build that shit here. I mean, trust me, if like God, because think about it. I mean, Apple needs to work fast because they would hate for Samsung to hop in here and be like, no, we'll jump in there first. Because then that means that's gives Samsung an opportunity to take over the phone market through cheaper prices, which they already have. But to give them even cheaper prices because they're manufacturing here would damn near decimate Apple.
Produce the stuff here than to do it in Mexico, Canada, and China. Bingo, the jobs are coming here. That's why. The same way where these policies, 1971, yes. Let's let China come in. 2001, an idea from Clinton's and some of the other guys. Let's let them come and compete. All they did is take our jobs. And the way they're now creating the reciprocal tariffs and the fear being imposed on all these other guys. And by the way, on a side note, U.S. getting control of the 2 ports in Panama Canal. You know how China feels about that? That was one of their biggest leverage points that they had. They lost control with that. This is allowing U.S., if you live in America, jobs are coming here. You get to sit there and say, I just want people to get jobs here. Why? If people make more money, they get to take care of their families. They get to have dignity where they can look in front of their wives and feel like they're a man. They can look in front of their kids, feel like they're a father doing their job. They stand tall. If they stand tall, crime goes down. If crime goes down, communities do well because people felt safe and secure because they're reinvesting into the communities. But if jobs are going elsewhere, money's going elsewhere, your cities are going to be more unsafe. Crime is going to.
And it's going to turn to drugs and crime. And like, bro, it's going to turn to all these, like, I'm going to be real with you. Going to turn to gang stuff. It's going to turn to gang violence. Going to turn to drugs. It's like, bro, when there's no jobs, people find other ways to make money, and it's usually through the criminal organizations or just going through it down a life of crime. Look at the hood. I mean, because we don't got that much jobs out here in the hood sometimes, in these hoods, well, what do kids do? Drugs, gangs, rob, steal. But I'm gonna be real with you. Like, little do y'all know, if we actually had some jobs out there, they'd probably go do that. They'd be like, yo, F good risk in jail, bro. Let me go get this job right and quick. Work, get my own house, have my games and all that good stuff and live my life. Like, you understand, bro. There's literally kids out there selling drugs, risking their life just so they can live a normal life.
And go up, and we don't want that. That's why to the people that understand business, sit there and say, look, this is.
And by normal, I mean just be able to live in a crib, be able to afford the same amount of groceries you do, live in the same amount of cribs you do. Don't have a job, you just sell drugs all day.
Kind of a good idea, but it's going to be painful for a couple years. I don't know if we have the tolerance for it We're about to find out. We're about to find out what the pain tolerance of us American citizens are going to be while we're going through this process. Anyways, if you got value out of this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And if you've not watched the video on what just happened with Panama Canal and the BlackRock deal, taking it away from C.K. Hutchinson, if you've not seen it yet, whatever you do, take 10 minutes and watch that video as well. Click here to watch it. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
And all right, man. Hopefully that was informative enough for y'all because, woo. Let me see. Do I have any? I have one more. I have one more. Yes, one more. Why not? Let's get into this Pierce video real quick, and then we're going to go ahead and end it out, guys. All right, guys, you want to go ahead and show some support? Go ahead and send any super chats in during this last video, man. Let's get a conversation started. If not, man, let's just end it out. Like the video. Let's enjoy the stream.
Of one of America's most progressive states torching his own party.
The Democratic brand is toxic right now. We had a high water mark 2 weeks ago, and that was a CNN poll at 29% favorability. It's dropped in the NBC poll down to 27%. It's one thing to make noise, but you also have to make sense.
Democrat lawmakers pressed on their thoughts had this to say.
I don't think it's my job to help the Democrats come out of the wilderness. It's my job to make sure that this is Maryland's decade.
Yeah.
I think that it is a brand that is, with all respect to my colleague from California, is associated with New York and with California. The Democratic Party ought to be able to come back under those circumstances with a pretty good argument about why we could lead better than Donald Trump.
All right, here to react. He says he would. It's still up to you. Pierce Morgan, the same Pierce Morgan who does Uncensored with Pierce Morgan.
A lot of fireworks.
What's your name again?
It's not important. I'm a boxing friend. That's all that matters.
By the way, I turned 60 yesterday. I know what you're thinking, Ainsley.
birthday.
Can't be 60.
You
But I found to my utter shock that you're only 10 months older than me.
Right.
I had you down for about 5 years older.
I look like 10 years younger. Are you kidding me? You guys are the British. You don't even know how to use moisturizer.
We don't need moisturizer.
You know?
You can kill me
Your skin's
today.
this good. You don't need moisturizer.
Okay, fine. Let's go back to Democrats.
Happy birthday, by the
Thank
way.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ainsley.
Yeah.
As always, a touch of class in the middle.
Right.
Thank you.
absolutely.
Berating our guests.
Right. Sorry. Yeah, we're off to a bad start. But what did you think of what Gavin Newsom was saying about the
Do you
party?
know the thing about you talking about moisturizer? Don't you think with Gavin Newsom, he probably takes longer to get ready than his wife when they go out? Don't you think?
Okay, that's
Would you agree with that,
when you're
Ainsley?
dating someone and they take longer than you do. That's
Come on.
a red flag.
Right.
He is so slick, it's just pouring off him. It's interesting because, of course, one of the reasons the party's so toxic is because of people like Newsom.
And shout out my man T Benke. So I was wondering when you were gonna end the stream. I watched Louder with Crowder at 11. I haven't been as active today, but I'm at work right now. Hey man, hey, shout out to my man TK Benke working. Yes. Hey, look, I accidentally fell asleep and I was supposed to start at 11 o'clock. Yeah, I was supposed to start at 11 and then drag it out to like 5, but fell asleep. Hey, man, I couldn't, and I had to get up and get to it. Okay, my bad, guys. But do not worry, though. Do not worry. Trust me, I'm gonna be here at 11 tonight. Well, let's see here. I think 12. Okay, the show might start around at 12:30.
Who were following these mad, crazy, woke, progressive left policies. Now, to his credit, he, unlike a lot of the party, has realized they've got to move very, very quickly back to the middle or it's all over. I mean, the Democrat polling is indescribably horrific.
But he's not as governor. Right now, he's not moving. He's
No, I agree.
But he's not moving anything as
I
governor.
don't think he cares about California anymore. He sees
But
an
is it-
opportunity to run the party. He's playing the sort of Bill Clinton ticket, even the mannerisms, right?
Yeah.
You can see the way he's doing the interview. So it was very interesting. But the Democrats are toxic for one reason. If you want to know why they're in the state they're in, just ask all of them 2 questions. What is a woman? And should biological men be in women's sport? If they are unable to answer the first question, and if they say in the second one, yeah, that's fine, that's the problem. Right there, they have gone completely crackers. And I say that as somebody who's more on the kind of Bill Maher side, politically, I guess, historically. But I agree with Bill. That's why I'm pleased Bill's going to see President Trump. They've got to get with the program. That common sense is where most
Well, how do you think
Americans
it'll go?
now want to be.
How do you think it's
The
going to
Bill
go?
Maher did. I want to be there, don't you? Kid Rock, Dana White, President Trump, Bill Maher.
Yo, that does sound like an all-star lineup. I mean, dude, man, somebody send me an invite, man. I'll bring the camera.
not Brian Kilmeade.
I know.
But I would love to be there. I think it's great. I'm actually doing Bill's show in a couple of weeks. I think he's a refreshing voice of common sense in a party that's gone mad. And I think he could have said no. But actually, yes,
funny.
As he said, and I really like this, there's something incredibly respectful about being invited to the White House, and it's a great honor to be invited to the White House.
How do you think the party is going to respond to that, though?
Oh, well, all the woke left will go completely nuts. They'll probably go around and torch his car like they're doing to Elon Musk because they have no way of combating policy. I mean, look at the Elon Musk thing. Again, if you want to know how nuts these people have got, Elon Musk has sacrificed his business stuff for however long he's going to do this for no money. He's leading a team of people to try and reduce government overspending and waste. I wish he was doing that to the federal government in the UK. And what's his reward? All over America now, people torching Teslas, petrol bombing them, targeting people who are driving Teslas. I said on X last night, this is making me want to go and buy a Tesla, to which Elon replied, thank you, because I'm sure he's feeling a little bit vulnerable right now in terms of his business being actively targeted, and they're trying to destroy it.
And it's
because the guy,
the Democrats love the electric car.
these people used to love Elon Musk. They used to see him as the savior, the green energy guy, bringing energy, these cars to green energy cars to America. They all loved him. And now, because he has aligned himself to Donald Trump, now he's the enemy, and they can't crush him on policy. They want to crush him with violence.
Well,
I think it's
this made me feel better. Only 100 people showed up to one of the rallies, at the Tesla plant.
But in New York, it was a big one.
And they've happened all over the world. But I think it's going to backfire because he's trying to save us money so that we don't go bankrupt, so we can keep our country.
I thought the Brett Baer thing was fascinating.
So good.
Really good, wasn't it? With Elon and all those other business leaders who have all given up their time. And the way they talk through what they're doing and what they're finding, the scale of the waste is actually terrifying.
I know.
And the idea that for exposing this and for saving Americans money, which is what they're doing, that you then become the devil who must be targeted, destroyed with violence, I think is a shameful moment for everybody on the left in America. And they've got to stop this right now.
Go to Fox Nation, watch the whole thing in its entirety with Brett Baer.
Thank you, Piers.
Thanks, Piers.
We're crunching later.
Yes.
Now, I am carrying a severe ankle injury.
Don't you start. You do the same thing.
But because
I'm weak as hell. All right, man. All right. We can go ahead and end it on that mark, guys. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end it out. And you know what? Let me go ahead and do this for a friend. You feel me? Hey. For a friend, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna play, something a little different to close it out. And I do appreciate y'all tuning in, man. Trust me, it was really a great live. Appreciate y'all for pulling up. Make sure y'all guys like and subscribe to the channel. So yes, go ahead and double tap that screen and then go ahead and click on the S.E.T media icon and go ahead and subscribe to the channel, man. We do this every night, and make sure to go check out our clips, man. All right, guys, this is S.E.T with S.E.T Media, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. Y'all have a good night, man. Peace.
My ex be fans of me when it all got real, you ran on me. 2 months ago, couldn't stand me. Now she wanna be a part of my fantasy. Feel so real, but how can it be? Now everywhere I go, cameras be. I'm in the low end randomly, but the west side where my family be. Keep that energy, I'll go towards you, hell to me. I ain't worried about no enemy, cause my brother crazy like Brandon's be. Tell him quit playing with me. 4 and 20 ounce drowning me. I'm supposed to be out of town again, but all my bitches keep flying in. My priorities, all fucked up, she adore me. She wanna be with that water, be with the Lambo trucks and the Florida seats. Bitch got bored of me, cause I know it all fall on the Florida beach. So I gotta look for the keys, but she like Porsche, so she go to speed. None of that hold me, actually nigga that know of me. I was through L-Town shaking the bag, that's when I happy love me. She won't let go of me, take a pic to the tats and the foreign seas. I ain't the quarterly, cause her boyfriend watch my story creep. My ex be fans of me when it all got real, you ran on me. 2 months ago, couldn't stand me. Now she wanna be a part of my fantasy. Feel so real, but how can it be? Now everywhere I go, cameras be. I'm in the low end randomly, but the west side where my family be. Keep that energy, I'll go towards you, hell to me. I ain't worried about no